Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox, and I am coming to you today with a review for Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 11, The Reunion Part 2. So let me just say, I'm so over it, you guys. They should go back to 2 episodes of The Reunion. It's just no need for 3 episodes. That shit wore me out last night. I was just like, watch the whole time. I was like this. Is the Kirk fucking face. Oh, so over. Okay, I'm not even gonna keep on complaining. Let's just get started, you guys. So we start with Kandi and Porsha, okay, and the issues with Kandi running to the candy coated clique, and them feeding her head with all of these tales about Dennis. Andy asked, so is the truth still going? Yes, I hope it still is. Porsha, what do you think? Well, we had to readjust. Because when I watched the season back, I was mad all over again. Why? Because of the shit that she said? No, because of the fact that she invited that big mouth ass bitch that, Porsha don't get along with. It was like, damn, you gonna bring this girl to the show? When you know that Porsha had issues with her, what did you think was gonna come from that? You thought that lady had Porsha's best interest at heart? So I understood what Porsha was saying. Remember, we was all kind of surprised that, not necessarily that the girl was working for Kandi, but, that they allowed her to be on the show like that. Now, as far as this party, and if Porsha walked up to the ex-girlfriend or not, Kandi, well, I just don't think that you walked up to her and was just like, hey, what's up? No, I'm sure she didn't. She was pissed off. You guys was trying to be messy, or at least your friends was trying to be messy. Kandi was not a part of what was going on over there. But like I said, she's the one that brought the girl to the show, so what did you expect? And then we'd start discussing whether or not Porsha was drinking at that party. I was not drinking at that party. Kandi was just like, well, you was just only like maybe a month or so pregnant. And she was just like, no, I was like 3 or 4 months pregnant. I was showing. Yes, we know you were showing. Everybody knew your ass was pregnant. You just wouldn't say. But Kandi was like, no, that party was in August. Anyway, whether or not she was drinking, Kandi, I got pictures of you holding a drink. Don't make me break out the pictures, Porsha. They show the picture. She is posing with a glass of wine. Okay, you probably would have just been better off saying, yeah, I did have a glass of wine. But whatever. They banter back and forth, but there is no animosity there. They're still good. Okay, so it's good to see that at least these two are working working things out. Let's move on to Nene. Okay. The most tiresome subject of the day. So Nene, you've been raw and you've been vulnerable the whole season. Okay, how is the marriage going? She says, well, you know what? The marriage is pretty bad right now. We are in counseling. Andy says, is that with Dr. Jeff? And she says, as a matter of fact, it is. Okay, that was under Greg's request. Because as far as Nene is concerned, it looked like Nene is ready to just throw in the towel. Would it be easier for you to make a decision to get a divorce if he hadn't been sick? She says, yes, absolutely. But you probably wouldn't be getting a divorce if he wasn't sick. She says, no, that's not the case. Shit was bad before he got sick, and like Andy said, it made everything exponentially worse when he did get sick. And let Nene tell it, Greg is very, very difficult. Now, honestly, I can't see it, but we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. A lot of times people are one way in public, a whole totally different other way in private. So, we can give Nene that, right? My whole thing is, Nene tells us that you guys just don't know Greg, basically. He's done a lot of shit in the past that she's just taking the rap for. I was just like, what has he done that we would know of? Not talking about their marriage. Okay, that's a separate issue. But when she says that she's taking the rap for it publicly, what does that mean? Was he her manager? So was she blaming him for some things that have gone on in her career? Like, I honestly couldn't understand what she was meaning by that, unless she's just talking about her marriage. And really, that has nothing to do with us, the viewer. We bring Greg out there and we ask Greg, has he been difficult? He says, you know what, maybe I have been possibly difficult. He's got cancer. He says it was a lot of things that he didn't even understand. So, he was just dealing with it the best way that he can. The whole segment was just sad, right? The whole time I'm sitting there watching Nene's disgusted face, and then watching Greg trying to pick and choose and make sure that he says the right things not to piss off, because he's still a professional Nene Leakes husband. I was just watching it like, why is he being so... Anyway, let me just keep on going. One of the viewers sent in a question asking, why does she travel so much, Nene, if Greg is sick? And she says, look, I am a provider. Just emasculating. No man wants to hear their wife say to the public that she is the provider. Okay, even if that's what we all know, you ain't gotta say it. All right, so she's like, I'm the provider. If I don't work, he don't eat. Well, damn. Greg, how did you feel about her breaking down at the buy wig party? Oh, well, Greg felt really bad, just watching that whole thing of her breaking down the whole time. She's sitting over there like this. I was like, girl, I had the same feeling watching you, shit. Greg wishes that, none of that had went down, and Nene had to again defend herself. Listen, I am going to act the way that I act whenever I want to act that way. Nobody is going to tell me how to act in my own house. If that's the way I was feeling at the time, that's the way that I'm going. I was just like, oh my God. Nene is the most defensive I have ever seen her be. Greg is no walk in the park. The nigga been difficult, and that's just what it is right now. Like I said, Nene seems to be ready to throw in the towel. Andy asked her, asked them both, are they really trying to do they want to make this work? And Greg says, well, I do. And Nene was like, it's anybody's guess, basically. I mean, Nene is just done, and it's so obvious. She just doesn't want to say it because Greg is sickly, and I guess she thinks that she's going to get like some backlash. But I'm not sure if we would be so mad at her if she would just take everybody out of their misery and leave a man alone. I know that's easier said than done, but the way that she talks to him is just really, really bad. So Nene says, as far as she's concerned, anything can happen. Doesn't sound like somebody that's trying to work it out to me. They did make sure that we saw at the end when, they were kind of finished questioning them. She gave him a kiss. All right. And she said, you okay? He's glad that it's over. She was like, you were nervous? And he says, yeah, my stomach was bubbling. And she was just like, oh, God, like, oh, Greg. Ooh, that Nene is something special. Then we get Marlo and Tanya to join in. Marlo, hello, Andy. And Tanya, hi, Andy. So when they do the viewers' questions, one of the viewers says, isn't it funny how Tanya went from Nene's friend to Eva's friend? Yeah, we all noticed that throughout the season as the temperature changed amongst the friendships. Marlo was like, didn't Eva's title change too? Yes, it did, actually. She used to be Nene's sis. But of course, now that Eva has pissed off the king, yeah, she's not necessarily Eva's friend anymore either. Now we get on to the beef between Nene and Tanya. And as far as Nene saying that Tanya was never going to marry Paul, Nene says, listen, my intentions were pure when we were there. When I said that, I did not mean anything by that. Your intentions were pure? And Nene was like, yes, girl, I have a big hand in the reason why you sitting all the way on the end of the couch over there. Okay, so why would it benefit me to shoot you in the foot and say something bad about you? And Tanya was like, so what you're essentially saying is your relationship is not going to work out. So do you understand what my intentions were behind what I was saying? And Nene was like, I understand. Okay, she's so damn condescending. We got it crystal clear. So anything that anybody over there was trying to say, Nene cut it off with the quickness. Cynthia says, you know what, Nene? You have a problem disconnecting with somebody. The minute somebody upsets you, you just be like, forget it, I'm done. Nene was just like, wait a minute, I'm not even her friend talking to Marlo. Well, why is she even talking to me? But honey, that Nene is mad at Tanya because Tanya is trying to give it to Nene, and Nene was like, you know what, you will never ever get my, endorsement for you to be on this show. You gonna have to put that peach so far up your pussy, you never gonna get it from me. I said, oh, that Nene knows she can say some old nasty. So what we talking about? Putting a peach up your pussy? What? Just nasty. Nene, you are passive aggressive. She says that she's not. Tanya was like, oh my God, you were just passive aggressive 10 minutes ago. Yes, Nene is very much passive aggressive. All right, we go back and forth of whether or not Nene was there for Eva. I think Eva and Nene's relationship, even though Nene was acting out, I don't think she did anything to Eva. Eva might be getting caught up a little bit in everything else that's going on with Nene, but Nene was like, I had your back so many times. There was really no reason for her to have Eva's back, because nothing was happening that Nene felt like she had to protect her, with the exception of when they were at Kandi's grand opening. But remember, she did stay mic'd up when she went to go talk to Eva, even though Eva pretty much said the same thing, but it was still sort of like you should have given her the heads up on that. But yeah, I can't really remember a time when Eva needed Nene's help, but I also can't remember a time where Nene and Eva were clashing. So now Eva finds out that she's not friends with Nene. And I think that Eva probably meant from that is that after the whole closet fiasco, she unfollowed them or whatever. She had something to say. So Eva kind of got lumped into that whole fallout. She didn't necessarily stay neutral like Shamari did. So Eva just feels like as long as she, continues to be Nene's lapdog, then everything works out. But I don't know if I felt like Nene was trying to get her to be her lapdog. Not like Cynthia, the OG lapdog. And also, speaking of Eva, Marlo, you've been taking digs at Eva all season long. She said, well, first let me say, Eva, you look beautiful. The best you've looked all season. When they were talking about them going back and forth on the bus, Eva pointed out that Marlo always has the same comeback when she can't think of anything else to say. Your breath stank and something about your mama. Okay, Marlo does apologize. I do apologize for talking about your mama. That was below the belt. But why did you say any of that, Marlo? Andy asked. Okay, you even mentioned something about her having 2 baby daddies. All right, Eva was like, I'm just willing to bet that your mother probably has more than 1 baby daddy. Marlo just admits, that she's just petty low. Okay, she petty low like that. She gonna come with the heat. Basically, is a whole bunch of bickering over on that couch. Okay, coming at Marlo and Nene. Okay, Nene is like, oh my goodness, so much, vitriol coming from over there. I must be a real G. Okay, for everybody to be coming after me like this. Nene is quick to say that people will fight with her just so they can keep their spot on the show. I was so just done. Then we get Shamari's time. Marlo, do you think Shamari has a drinking problem? Shamari has a drinking problem and everybody on this couch knows it, even though they don't want to admit it. Shamari says she doesn't have a drinking problem. Porsha says she doesn't have a drinking problem. She has a problem drinking. Okay, in other words, Shamari don't know how to cut the shit off. Kandi, did you think that she had a drinking problem? No, I don't think she has a drinking problem, but at the wedding, I didn't want her to drink anymore because I didn't want her to get so tipsy in front of all those people. Well, Marlo, how about that time that you was overseas and you was locked out of your room? Well, that's different. That's girls' night out drunk. That's not everyday drunk. And of course, Shamari was coming at Marlo left and right. She was ready for Marlo. She had been wrote down her comebacks. I didn't even take the time to write them down. But just know that Shamari was ready. How about you puking on Eva's shoes? Shamari said she felt real bad about that. She even wanted to replace the shoes, but she got the shoes in Morocco. But they're from Zara's. Okay. Didn't Eva tell us? No, that wasn't those shoes. Her shoes when they were out of the country was supposed to be the expensive shoes. But since they were from Morocco, she couldn't replace the shoes. So she just got her a $70 gift card from Zara's. Okay, bitch, pass it on down. All money is good money in these streets. Then they asked her about the open relationship. How has that affected your relationship with Ronnie? She said it was hurtful. It was just hard for them to have to relive it. Well, you wouldn't have relived it if you didn't open your big mouth. And what about your fashions? Do you feel like your fashions have improved? And she says, you know what? As a matter of fact, I do believe my fashions have improved. And I believe that she is correct in that one. They didn't have much further to go but up. Marlo was like, except today. I hate your dress, Shamari. No, Shamari, you look beautiful. She said, it looks like my nephew's got like some glitter and just threw it at her. Why you had to be so hard? That dress dress was not horrible. Okay, it wasn't my favorite, but I mean, it wasn't like the way that Marlo was making it seem. They tried to go in on Nene with her regular Real Housewives of Atlanta uniform of a t-shirt, jeans, and a shawl, not a shawl, not a caftan. What do you call them? You know, tunic over it. And Nene was just like, look, don't drag me in on that. Shamari, I have never said anything about your fashions, which she hasn't. Now we got to talk about the bi-wig party. The hair. Who broke the rules? Cynthia says she didn't realize that a scrunchie was breaking the rules. Nobody wanted to talk about the fact that Nene still had a weave in her hair as far as you guys are concerned. I didn't know that that wasn't her hair, but a lot of people saying, yes, you could see tracks and all of that. I tried to get a good look when they was doing the flashbacks yesterday. I still couldn't really tell. It did have something lifting in the back, but it also looked like she was trying to do like a comb over because she has problematic edges like myself. So yeah, strategically placed. Was anybody else's hair strategically placed? Mine was. Because I didn't know where the wind was going to blow and if my edges was going to be there. So now Nene was mad about Porsha running late. They talk about Nene's saying that, you know, it's women that's pregnant, you know, in the hood that get on the bus and get wherever they got to go on time all the time. So that's no excuse that Porsha is pregnant. I understood what Nene was trying to say. But of course, Porsha was just like, well, that's an insensitive way to talk about your little sis. Andy tries to soften the blow and say, Nene, maybe the girls, you know, them trying to be supportive to you is not what you consider being supportive. Maybe they just don't know what kind of support you need. Because you even had a problem with Marlo. And Nene was like, yes, I did, but you know, we talked about it and everything. You know, would you like an apology? He asked Marlo, and Marlo says, yes, I would like an apology. So that's when Nene says, girl, you know, you my best good girlfriend. You know, I love you. I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean anything by it. Okay, just as nice as can be to old Marlo. But Nene's whole thing is when she gets upset, she likes to be alone. Okay, well, tell people that. You ain't got to be as funky. Just say, I need a little time to myself. I understand needing to be alone when I'm mad because I don't like to be around people when I'm upset either. But showing people the door is never good. When they have driven their ass all the way out there, the least you can do is open the door and then say, listen, I'm not in the mood today. So while they're talking, Tanya says, listen, Tanya says, listen, Nene, we want to be a resource to you genuinely, but you close off so easily. Even right now, you're shutting down. The whole time, Nene is just like, oh, whatever. And Cynthia says, as a friend of yours, you do yourself a disservice. And Nene was like, whose friend? You know, I'm not your friend. You're not my friend. Like, whose friend is that? Who's she talking about? And Cynthia was like, whatever friend. Whoever you decide to be your friend that week. You do yourself a disservice by cutting everybody off as soon as you have a problem, because we all was trying to be supportive to you. When we found out that Greg had cancer, it was nothing but love when we came out there to Miami. Nene begs to differ. Eventually, Porsha can't take it anymore. Wait a minute. I would love to be as nonchalant as Nene, but the way that she has said over here, just basically fuck you to the whole cast on this couch is really hurtful, because when you say that you didn't give me a gift, that you didn't do anything for me, that I was not being supportive, I prayed for you. My mom prayed for you. Me and Dennis prayed for you. We all prayed for you. And the fact that you would sit there and give a big fuck you to all of us is very fucking hurtful. Now that's all I had to say. I couldn't get off this couch without saying that. You done got Porsha upset. When Andy looks over at Nene, any response? No response. He was like, really, Nene? Like, damn, she just poured your heart. What do you want me to say is what Nene is saying. Again, very defensive, guard up, not listening. Even Marlo has to jump in. I do believe a few people are, you know, sincere. Okay, well, who do you feel? Well, Porsha. Okay, maybe Cynthia, but you know, Cynthia, you confuse me. And Cynthia was like, listen, first of all, I have been a very good friend to Nene. When you weren't even her friend, I was a friend. Cynthia, stop it. Come away from that place of hate. We're not going to talk about when Marlo was trying to stab Nene in the back by talking to, what was his name, Mr. Wonderful, and drugged him supposedly trying to get information about Nene to bring to the show. I may be getting some of the details wrong, but you guys know what I'm talking about when Nene and Marlo supposedly fell out. I guess now Marlo is not Cynthia's friend either. I mean, obviously Marlo has aligned herself with Nene. So that's going to continue to go on, and Andy is finally done with that. Now he wants to talk about the belt. Oh, no, you don't. because Nene shuts that shit down immediately. Listen, Andy, I had a breakdown. Everybody saw me have a breakdown. I had a breakdown in my house. You're not going to keep pressing me about this breakdown that I had. If I had a breakdown, then I had a breakdown. You guys all saw it. Don't keep pressing me about it. Don't keep pushing me up against the wall about my breakdown. I'm going to act the way that I act. I'm going to be the way that I be, and that's just what it is. Don't keep coming at me about this. I was just like, isn't that, are we supposed to be discussing all of this? Oh, no, we ain't discussing this belt. I said, girl, you must have forgot who you was talking to. Andy was looking at her like, now I could have swore I wrote the checks around this motherfucker. You lucky Andy has a whole lot of patience. He was looking at her like, child, that Nene is something special. We're going to see if they pressed her against that belt situation, honey. I feel like we, as the viewing audience, need to know exactly what happened in that closet. Y'all better not punk out and not show us. That's all I do know. Alright, Roxstars, so that's it. Wasn't the best review, but I'm telling you, I'm just done. I'm just over it. I'm gonna be so glad when that shit is done next week. Anyway, you guys, make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. Alright. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, Roxstars. Bye.